out his own warning with a 10 on the Toricon Index, and that means nearly 100% chance of tornadoes in northern Alabama.
So many areas have been hard hit already today. Our coverage now takes us to Butler County, Missouri, where there was a report of a tornado just in the last half hour. Joining us on the phone is Sheriff Mark Dobbs. Sheriff Dobbs, thanks for joining us. Do we have reports of damage in your area?
Yeah, we do have some damage reported, trees down and so forth. Right now, a crew has been sent out to where the tornado was actually spotted. We had a report of a vehicle that had been turned over and perhaps some people trapped in it. So they're in the process right now of trying to locate that vehicle and rescue those folks.
So it is possible we do have some injuries from this. As far as the reports of the tornado, can we confirm that it was a tornado? Did we have eyewitness reports?
Definitely so. We received several reports and from citizens, and then eventually our officers who were down in that area doing high water rescues actually seen the tornado and even photographed it.
Let's talk a little bit more about the high water rescues. People obviously getting into trouble if they try to drive through water-covered roadways. Has that been the biggest problem?
It has. That's been one of the two things is driving in the high water and people remaining in their homes in the high water.
All right, it's just a double threat there today. Sheriff, thank you. We'll let you get back to what has turned out to be a very, very busy for you. Sheriff Mark Dobbs there with Butler County in Missouri. Tornado damage, flood problems continue in that area as well.
And that's what we're finding over parts of South at this hour. In northern Alabama, super thunderstorm cells have developed. So let's bring in our severe weather expert, Dr. Greg Forbes, to talk more about those super cells. Dr. Forbes.
Yeah, and Carl Parker is here with me. Between the two of us, we're trying to keep track of the tornado emergencies and, in my case, trying to keep track of where the storms are and which look the most dangerous. Follow up on the phoner, though. Thought I'd show you the storms here in south that have come across Missouri. They're coming into Kentucky now and parts of Illinois. A different character of storms. This is a line of storms on the cold front, but they have these little kinks, little dog leg surges forward, and those are where the tornadoes can form. And so these tend to be quick forming, short-lived tornadoes. You can see a little bit of a green surges forward, red surges back near the R in Oak Ridge. And so that's where a possible tornado is. Just to the south and east of Jackson, you see another one of those little undulations. So those are quick forming and quick, usually narrow tornadoes that form in those areas. Now, Carl, you have some emergencies down in Alabama, and we'll talk about some of those.
Yeah, as we get here into western Alabama, tornado emergency now in effect for Sandtown, Southern Berry, and Boley Springs. That's Tuscaloosa, Pickens counties. That's moving northeast at 55 miles an hour. We've gotten a lot of these tornado emergencies today. We've gotten a lot of reports of large tornadoes, a 1/2 mile wide tornado in Hatton and Lawrence counties. So, Greg, of all the days to not ignore the warnings, this would be it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I should point out there is a tornado warning. It's not an emergency, but a small storm moving more to the left than the others coming into the Huntsville area. Tornado warning there. The former Coleman storm is still going. In fact, it's re-intensified. Look at that red triangle. There is a debris ball, another sign that the tornado is in progress, kicking up debris right there. We've seen way too many of those today. There it is, just to the northwest of Ider in northeast parts of Alabama, well off to the east of the Tuscaloosa area. There you can see it heading generally toward the Trenton area. This is Georgia now, so this one is about ready to make its way into the northwest corner of Georgia. Now, down to the southwest of Birmingham, we have a pair of big storms. One of them due west of Birmingham, south and east of Fayette. It, too, has a debris ball on that. And then the next storm down, it is headed toward Tuscaloosa, a very well-defined tornado heading generally toward Tuscaloosa and the Moundville area. So dangerous storms, Carl, many places.
That's right. A very serious day here as many long-track tornadoes have developed. We're going to have much more on this dangerous severe weather situation coming up in just a moment. See this.
When my son was younger, he used to love zebras. We even painted his room.
Forbes is manning the expert desk. Seems we have tornadoes across Mississippi, Alabama, up into Missouri. A widespread outbreak today.
All across the South, and because it's another day of dangerous storms across the South, we are preempting storm stories.
But it's Cantori stories that we're preempting, but we have our own storm tracker, Jim Cantori. We're going to do you one better and bring him to you live. And what a story we have today there in Winfield, Alabama, Jim.
Yeah, it doesn't get much better than this, or worse, depending certainly on how you look at it. Just to kind of bring all our viewers tuning in up to date here this morning, we had a vicious squall line move across north central Alabama, enough so that many schools were closed. And of course, that was just the beginning. The atmosphere kind of reloaded, and now we're watching long-track tornadoes that have produced extensive damage in the town of Cullman off to my northeast, also in Hamilton and Hackleburg, which is one of the areas here in New in Marion County, which is the county I'm in, about 15-20 miles to my north, where they've actually had extensive damage up there and possibly even some injuries as well they're going to have to deal with here. So, guys, we are just getting this underway. I want to bring in on the phone Governor Robert Bentley, who joins us now and talks about a little bit about what's happened here. Governor Bentley, can you confirm what's going on right now in terms of some of the new damage and potential injuries that we've got going on in Alabama?
I can, Jim. In fact, I've been monitoring this all day. I'm now at the State Emergency Management Headquarters in Clanton, and we have 6 confirmed fatalities here that we have heard about. Of course, we have major damage all over the state. Where you are in northwest Alabama, and then, of course, in Cullman and Marshall counties. Of course, we have all available state resources responding at the present time, and like you, we're urging all of our citizens to take precautions, because we're watching, just like you are, storms on the ground right now.
So for people that are actually able to watch us on TV, Governor, this afternoon, because we've had a lot of power loss, about 250,000, I understand, from this morning, and that was where the 6 casualties came from. That was this morning's action. Now we have all this huge tornado threat this afternoon. How is the word getting out best, and how would you recommend people of Alabama to get that word out?
Well, of course, radio. If they have any type of battery-powered radio and storm radios, emails, any way that you can contact friends and relatives, we need to let them know.
Right.
But we're doing everything that we can, and we have all available resources responding at present.
Just pick up the phone if you have to, or go to door, as you've been mentioning. And, Governor, you have, as a result of all this action, issued a state of emergency, correct?
I have. I issued a state of emergency this morning when the tornadoes began, and we're responding all over the state. We're working with our local representatives and senators, and all of our EMA people all over the state, and our local responders, our first responders. They're doing an excellent job.
They sure are, and I want to add the wonderful folks here in Marion County as well, Governor. Thanks, for talking to us. We really appreciate your time, sir. You can talk to us anytime, as a matter of fact, update if you'd like. We'd really appreciate to hear from you. All right, let's toss it back to Carl and Dr. Forbes and tell our friends here in Alabama, Mississippi, Tennessee, Georgia, where the huge threat is tonight, what's coming at us. Guys, take it over.
And Jim, we were just talking about the fact that this is really an extraordinary event. I mean, this may end up being one of the worst tornado outbreaks on record of any time.
Yeah, we're seeing huge number of supercell thunderstorms in multiple lines rolling across just Mississippi and Alabama. There's additional storms up into the Tennessee Valley near Nashville, into Kentucky, up in Virginia. So we may wind up with something rivaling the super outbreak in 1974. We may get enough tornadoes also today to push April 2011 to the biggest tornado month on record. We'll see, but it's looking, unfortunately, that way. One of those very dangerous storms right now off to the west-northwest of Birmingham, near Berry, just about 5 miles southeast of Berry, Alabama. Another debris ball there. You can see it. And when those happen, that means that the tornado has destroyed something. It's kicked debris up in the air, enough of it that we can see a heightened return on radar, as if it were hail. Hail gives that kind of signature, but big pieces of debris like hail size or bigger will do that, and we have a tornado vortex signature there. It's heading for the Oakman area. It's heading for Parrish, Cordova in Alabama. Dangerous storms there.
Now, Greg, we got a report 427 of debris falling from the sky in that location in Berry there in Fayette County.
Yeah, that certainly is a thing that we saw in the Nashville area, I believe. The tornado here a few minutes ago with a tornado with a little debris ball likely picked up some debris, caught it into the updraft and fell out of the sky there, probably just a little bit south of Barrie. So dangerous storms. I should say the Raleigh tornado, we had reports of that happening. Now up in the Nashville area, which is where I intended to go, we do have a tornado warning there. The main threat is down closer to the Brentwood area. It will be sliding to the south and east suburbs, probably more over toward the Mount Juliet area, downtown Nashville, getting some heavy rain. This is not as strongly rotating a storm as we're seeing in some of the other locations.
And Greg, also now a tornado